Justice League Snyder Cut. We are at the end. We've reached the end, ladies and gentlemen. This is the epilogue. And the epilogue starts with Cyborg, who he's playing back a message that his father had sent him. Because remember, in the beginning of the movie, his father had recorded a message for him, basically talking to him about his abilities and, how special he is and, how he can do good things for the world. And then he was just like, all right, now let me stop talking to you like a scientist and let me speak to you like a dad. And then Cyborg, destroyed the, the tape recorder. So he has the ability to bring machines, to recreate machines and bring them back to life. Didn't see that one coming. And his father, starts talking to him from the heart, telling him how special he is, how much he loves him, how he can do anything, how he should associate himself with some of the world's greatest heroes. And while his dad is talking, we're getting the montage of Arthur saying goodbye to Mira and to the other dude, saying he has to go talk to his dad. We get Barry running through the streets. He was talking to his dad about getting the job at the crime lab. At the crime lab, the scene where Bruce and Diana are talking about building the Hall of Justice. A scene where Diana is standing in front of the monument temple. She has the arrow in her hand and she looks like she's about to cry because she was under the impression that, Steppenwolf killed her mom and killed all the Amazons. I don't know why she just don't go back to the island just to verify this for herself, but, she's been banished, so that's what's going through her heart. And then, the bat, the bat symbol in the sky, Batman on some big ass, gigantic tank looking thing, Superman, walking through the streets as Clark Kent. And this was the same montage with the exception of a few scenes. It was the same montage that we got in the theatrical cut. The only difference was it was Lois in the theatrical cut who was doing the monologue. So the theatrical cut basically just wiped Victor's dad from, it basically just wiped Victor's dad from existence. Victor, Cyborg was it's very cheesy because we've been hearing for years oh, Cyborg was the heart and soul of the movie, he was the glue, he was right. Everything involving Cyborg and his dad was spot on. Cyborg is the pulse of of this whole film, and it's a shame that his role got reduced and they cut him short, which so now when you hear when you hear Ray Fisher, tweeting about how he was treated and, the racism and things like that, it's when you watch this movie, you're kind of yeah, I can see that. Because Josh Whedon, I'm just going to say what it is. Martian Manhunter got cut out. Cyborg got cut. Victor Stone got cut. Iris West got cut. For the most part, you basically cut out all the black people. Josh Whedon pretty much cut all the black people out of the film. He cut all their roles down. So, thank goodness for the Snyder Cut. After we get that montage, then it takes us to the scene where where Deathstroke he goes onto the yacht to go talk to Lex Luthor. And in the theatrical, they basically tease the Legion of Doom. Here, they didn't speak about the Legion of Doom. What they spoke about was Lex Luthor being a snitch, because Lex was talking to Deathstroke and he was just like, hey, I heard you got beef with the Batman and you said that you would kill the Batman for free. So he's out of curiosity, what's making you offer your services for free? And then he was just it's personal. And then, then Lex was oh, an eye for an eye. I was that's fucked up. So, but then he was just well, if you're going to kill the Batman, if you're going to work for me or be on my team or whatever, he said that you might want to start with his identity, because Batman is Bruce Wayne. When Lex said that, I was yeah, that's fucked up. I was you was wrong. Honestly, you ain't shit for that. Because if Deathstroke was really Deathstroke and he was really all powerful, the greatest of all time, and he has beef with Batman because he thinks Batman's his only rival, I'm why would you just give away his identity? I was you ain't shit for that. So, but he told him his identity. Deathstroke smiled, and then he was just oh, looks like we have something to celebrate after all. So now Deathstroke is working for Lex, and that was supposed to be the lead-in to the Batman versus Deathstroke movie that I pray we're going to get soon. I pray that with the success of the Snyder Cut, HBO Max will allow Ben Affleck to shoot his movie and we can finally get that Deathstroke versus Batman film. But they didn't mention the Legion of Doom here. It was really because, I said, the theatrical was leading into the Legion of Doom. Snyder Cut was leading into Batman versus Deathstroke. So, I said, we'll see what happens there. And then we get the nightmare scene. We get the nightmare scene where, the entire world is in shambles and everything's destroyed and in dust. There's a group of there's a group of heroes that are still left that are still trying, to right the wrongs and protect the world. That group of people consisted of Batman, Cyborg, Mira, Deathstroke. I'm like, we just got finished watching a scene where Deathstroke talked about how he gonna stick his sword up Batman's ass, and now the two of them are teammates. And like, and the Flash, the Flash was there as well. So they're talking about, like, Cyborg was just like, yo, we can't be out here too long because he's gonna find us. And then Mira, she's just like, she still got the accent. I'm still trying to get used to the accent. She's just like, let him come. And the funny thing is, Mira has in her possession the actual official original King of Atlantis Poseidon golden trident. She has like the official trident. So Arthur obviously became king at one point, and then because Superman killed him, Mira took over as like the Queen of Atlantis because she has like the real trident. So she was just like, let that bastard come out, stick this trident right up his ass. And then Batman is just like, like, I understand how you feel, but there's a plan. He's like, we got to stick to the plan. We got to stick, in order to right the wrongs, we got to stick to the plan. And then she's like, what wrongs will you speak of? She's like, have you never loved anyone in your life? And then that's when we get the cackle and laugh. And then my boy Jared Leto shows up, and he's just like, oh, of course he has loved ones, like maybe a mommy or a daddy or a adopted son. And I was like, you just brought up Jason Todd, you son of a I was like, you ain't shit for that one. And then Batman was like, be very careful what you say next, motherfucker. And then he was just like, oh, it's a dance between the two of us, is it's like, I'm your best friend, Bruce. And then then Batman got mad, and he was just like, you want to talk about and then he was like, why would you send a bird to do a man's job? But I'm just like, you just keep hitting below the below the belt here. And then Batman told him, he was like, and Batman was gangster with it. He told him, he was just like, yo, he was like, when I was holding Harley Quinn's dead body in my, when I was holding her, like, her carcass in my arms and she was bleeding out, she told me that when I kill you. And then he says, and I will kill you, motherfucker. And I was just like, what is happening? I was like, what is happening? And he's like, when I kill you, motherfucker. He's like, she told me to do it slow and painful. And then Joker got riled up, and he was just like, you almost got me, you son of a bitch. And then they kind of like, like they had to ease the tension. And then, Cyborg was like, here he comes. And then Superman comes dropping out of the sky. Funny thing is, Superman's the bad guy now. He comes dropping out of the sky. He uses heat vision to basically blast everybody. But I'm like, now all of a sudden you want to wear the red and the blue when 2 seconds ago you had on the black. So I'm like, if anything, this would be the appropriate moment for you to wear the black suit. So, when Superman's laser beams went off, Batman woke up because he was dreaming again. So this is his, second or third nightmare dream now. And then, he wakes up. He goes out to his patio, or because he wasn't at Wayne Manor. He goes to his patio or like his balcony, and then a being comes flying from the sky, getting ready to land on his balcony. I thought it was Superman, and then when he landed, I was like, it's the Martian Manhunter, because I thought the scene that we got when he turned into Martha Kent. I thought that was going to be the only time we were going to see him. Come to find out, we were supposed to get more Martian Manhunter. So now I'm just like. Like, why were we deprived of this greatness? He lands on the balcony and he's just like, hey, I've been observing like the Earth's heroes for some time now, and I didn't think you guys would unite, but Darkseid's coming, like he's coming for, he's coming for all of us, and it's time that I join the fight because I live on this Earth and I have a stake in this Earth too. So Batman's just like, well, thanks, we could use the help, and he's just like, call me the Martian Manhunter, and then he flies away, and then that's how the movie ends. So kudos and congratulations. Congratulations. I am super excited about this because they said from the beginning, like, again, if you go back to the original promotion of this movie, the original slogan, the original poster, it was Unite the Seven. It was like Justice League, Unite the Seven. The Seven, everybody, when they said Unite the Seven, everybody thought it was Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Flash, Aquaman, Cyborg, and everybody assumed the seventh person was going to be the Green Lantern. Apparently, the seventh person was supposed to be Martian Manhunter. Green Lantern, I don't know if he was supposed to come in later or not, but we weren't supposed to get Green Lantern now. So Martian Manhunter was the seventh person. So when they did Unite the Seven, that was the seven they were talking about. It's technically Unite the Eight because Ryan Choi, because now that Silas Stone is deceased, Ryan Choi, he now runs Star Labs, and obviously he was going to build the Atom suit, and he was going to become the Atom. So if anything, we were going to get 8, and then if you want to count the Birds of Prey with the Huntress and with Black Canary, that would have been 10. And I'm just like, this like the platform for this is amazing, and it definitely made me want more, and it put me in a position to where. And I said this before, I don't think I'm ever going to watch the Josh Whedon version ever again. I mean, there's really no point. Like, there's no point in watching the Josh Whedon version ever again, because the Josh Whedon version is is barely a fraction of what the real Justice League is. Like, this movie better be canon. Like, this movie better be canon going forward. And it still can be canon going forward, because no movies that came after Justice League, affect the results of, this film, because, Shazam, because again, Darkseid is on his way to Earth. He didn't get there yet. So we can still get Shazam. The Harley Quinn movie can still exist. The Aquaman movie can still exist. Obviously Wonder Woman 1984 took place in the past. So this doesn't derail the thing. Like, they can right this ship by giving us the Batman versus Deathstroke film, and giving us a follow-up Justice League movie to Darkseid, to Darkseid coming to this planet, because everybody wants it at this point. Like, HBO Max, they're listening. Like, they're definitely listening. And to think that the Zack Snyder Justice League isn't a testing ground to see if they should continue, like, you're kidding yourself if you don't think that's the case. So that was it. I mean, I definitely give it a 5. I definitely give it a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, 20 out of 20. Like I said, I really don't have any complaints about this. Like, there's nothing about this where I'm just like, oh, that was stupid, or that's like I said, this was the movie. I mean, it's very cheesy. Everyone is saying this, but I mean, I got to be one of those people to say it too. This was the movie we should have got from the beginning, and I'm glad we got it. So thank you for tuning in. I am doing the Tacos and Geek podcast this Sunday, where myself, Sean, Justin, and Gotham Geek Girl Nadia, we're gonna discuss the Snyder Cut. So obviously, like, on YouTube, I got my individual reactions, but once we do the podcast, I'll post the link for the podcast. I may post the video of the podcast as well for everybody that wants to hear a group discussion with me and 3 other people discussing, the Snyder Cut as well. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Definitely hit me up on Instagram. Let me know what you thought about it. Hit me up on YouTube. Definitely hit me up on YouTube. Put stuff in the comments section. Tell me what you liked about the Justice League. Tell me what you didn't like about it. If you didn't like anything about it. If somebody doesn't like this film, I'll be very surprised. But if you were one of the very, 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 very few people who did not like this movie, you need to give a reason why. And it has to, and I don't want to hear no Marvel talk. Like, this ain't got nothing to do with them. Like, there's no competition. Like, there's no comparing. This is like, you judge this based on what they gave you. Let me know what you think down below. So thanks for tuning in, guys. Like I said, I had a blast. I enjoyed it. I'm also very tired. We do have Falcon Winter Soldier coming up. We got Batwoman, Superman and Lois. We got Black Lightning, and we got The Flash. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for taking this ride with the Justice League with me. Tune into my channel for some more superhero reviews, TV reviews, movie reviews, etc. And until next time, as always, guys, take care for the Justice League, and I'm out this bitch.